Welcome back, y'all. Before we start on today's first lesson, let's first go ahead and review what we did last week. So if you open your sketchbook, you'll notice that your name and period and what your class is right there in the front. You should have practiced drawing the symbols. We talked about that drawing is not about how well you can look at something and then draw it, but it's expressing ideas in a visual vocabulary, just like how with writing, you express ideas with the written word. And speaking of the written word, all you need to do are curvy lines, straight lines, and you can draw stuff. Then we went over the 2 rules of blind contour, which was don't look at your paper, don't lift up your pencil. I saw varying degrees of skill with this one in the first few attempts. Overall, I'm pretty happy with what everybody tried. Then you should have done a couple more practice ones, not this, but this. And then once you got all your practice ones done, you should have on a separate piece of thin white paper 2 hand drawings, 2 drawings of people on top of each other as you rotated it, just like in the video. Then you went over it with thick marker and thin marker, so you have all these cool lines to work with this week. This will be what we're using for our project this week, which is why I emphasized following the step-by-steps of last week. All right, so now you're asking, well, what do I need for this week? So for just first lesson, this first video today, you're going to need the colored pencils that came not in your art supply pack, but actually when you got your computer, they gave you that back-to-school box that had like some binders and notebooks. In that, it's a pack of colored pencils, so I at least know you got that. And you'll need number 2 pencil. I supplied you one in your kit. If you have a pencil sitting around, use pencil. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to practice today value scales. If you remember when we did your notes on the elements and principles about value, right? Hopefully you remember you found a picture that had like gradation in it, which is where you go from one color to another. The value is from light to dark. So today we're talking about gradation and value. So first, let's practice value. So go ahead in your sketchbook right at the top. Value. It doesn't mean the thriftiness of how you spent on something or if it's a good value. For example, for $500, you could buy a PlayStation 5. You could also buy a 5-foot Mareep Pokemon plush. So where's the better value? I think we know where. So for this one, we're going to use the word value as it means in art terms. So light to dark. So to practice, I'm going to draw a box. I guess this is more like a rectangle. Normally in class, I would have like worksheets and stuff, so you don't do it yourself, but welcome to virtual learning. All right, so we're going to divide that box in half. Then we're going to divide those 2 boxes in half. And then we got 4 boxes that are totally the same size. And then we're going to divide those in half. Good enough for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes. What I want you to do is show a value scale from dark to light. So if I'm going to label these boxes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want box 1 going from dark to light to be the darkest. How do I get this the darkest? Let me show you. This is an example of what the darkest isn't or is not. Done. No, don't be lazy. The reason we want this to be the darkest is the way we get all the darkness is we use this little pencil here. And we make little circles. Because all we're trying to do is scratch all that powdery graphite into all the little holes and pits and tubes in the paper. So we want to get all the graphite we can in this box. Wasn't that fun? Now 8's going to be white, so we're just going to leave that not colored. So if I'm going from dark to light, will number 2 be as dark as number 1? No, it'll be slightly less dark. What's interesting is that blacks are blacks, whites are whites, but in grays, we talk about grays and the percentage of black they are. So if you think about it, black could be 100% gray, which I realize is weird to say, but welcome to design. So that means number 2 could be like 80% gray, which means 80% of this is black and 20% is, well, not. So I'm going to use the same thing. I'm going to go nice and smooth like that, just small circles. And if you notice, it's a little bit lighter. In fact, my darker could even be darker. The problem is that this camera, is not the best, so you're not going to get these subtle nuances that you see in person. Sorry. So I'm just going to go down here and make each box I know I'm doing what I said you shouldn't do. I'm just trying to go a little bit fast so this video isn't like 20 minutes of just me shading things in. But as you can see, it goes from dark and gets lighter. So for you, you're going to go ahead and just pause this video. Just hit that pause button and finish doing these 8 boxes so that looks nice and smooth. Don't use your finger to smudge. We're not in middle school or in elementary school anymore. We're in high school. Don't use your fingers to smudge. Use the graphite on your pencil. Go ahead and pause it now. And welcome back. See, if you didn't pause it, now that's going to be really weird. Now what I want you to do with your value is to make a smaller box. But this time, I don't want you to label it. I don't want you to divide it up into boxes. I want you to practice doing the value without the boxes, going from dark to light. And if you remember to get nice and dark, I'm just going to rub that pencil across the paper. You don't need to press hard. The friction will do it for you. Wow, well, that's awkward. Look at this value scale. I'm glad that they awkwardly did that. All right. So, dark to light. Cool. Now, value, dark to light. Have I said that enough yet, that value is dark to light? Value is dark to light. Now we're going to try gradation. Gradation. Gradation is like value, except for it's from one hue or color to another. So if value is black to white, technically it's a gradation from black to white. But in color theory, which we'll talk about probably second quarter here, black and whites aren't colors, they're neutrals. But it's okay. For all intents and purposes of this class, you can call them colors all you want. But for gradation, we won't use black and white. We'll use different colors, which is where those come in from your box. Pick 2 colors. I was kind of hoping in like 2 would randomly fall on the page, but I don't think blue and blue is going to work. Let's go blue and orange because I feel bad for the Knicks. All right. So I'm going to use my pencil and draw another box. If you would like to add the boxes, like we did in the last one, go right ahead. I'm going to make 2 boxes. Okay. So for the first box, I'm going to go from one color to the other. I'm going to start with my orange. And when you're going from one color to the other, it's just like with the value scale, right? The more pigment you put on the paper, because colored pencils are just wax and pigment. Some colored pencils have more pigment or more wax the more wax, the kind of harder and stiffer they are. Think about when you like go to like a restaurant and they give you like a kiddie menu with those crayons that are just worthless. It's mostly just wax. I prefer a more softer colored pencil, like that has softer wax, I guess you could say. It all depends on the artist. You guys don't have enough experience yet to know the difference, so cool. So I'm going to put more pigment on the paper. And so the key to gradation is to just put less and less pressure. And if you notice, it looks a little, you can tell that the color's not fading right here and here. So do that. I'm just going to slowly do those little circles like I talked about. Just add pigment so that it slowly blends together. Cool. So if I had you just gradate from orange to white, that'd be great. But we're not. We're doing from color to color. So now I got my bleu. So then on this side, I'm going to start full pigment. And then I'm going to slowly grade into the orange. Now, if we did this with two primary colors being, I paused there, so hopefully you could think about it, because you're a teenager now and you should know what your primary colors are: red, blue, yellow. If I had used primary colors, in the middle, that color would look like the color that secondary color those didn't blend together. So if I use blue and I use yellow, when it gradates together, it should be green. Isn't that cool? Okay. So there you go. For this one, go ahead and practice again. Grab two more colors. I'll do it again so that way I've demonstrated it twice. You can get a little extra help on that one. Let me use two complementary colors so you can see they will mix together. So well, never mind. I can't find. Oh, here we go. Oh, never mind. We'll just do two more colors. Two is green. I'm gonna do this the fast way so you don't have to wait for me. It's almost like it's YouTube, so you can just like, double click on the right and go forward 10 seconds. As if you're responsible for the media you consume. This will be a terrible clash of colors. Ugh. Looks like someone vomited cotton candy. Well, that's fun. So